Hello friends, it's Brandi from Artisan Bee Boutique. I'm coming on today to share with you a brand new junk journal that I just finished. This one is just journal themed, meaning you can use it for any purpose that you wish, like a diary or just to write down your thoughts, your prayers, whatever that you'd like to journal about, just life in general. This one I made it very kind of like shabby looking. I don't know if shabby is the right word, but I guess shabby, like chippy and rough edges and things like that. I just love the way this one turned out. This one, for the title, I hand lettered this on a little piece of scrap coffee dyed paper, and then I did a little heart and soul sticker right underneath the journal. So that's hand lettering, so it's unique to this journal. And then I just did some layering with some torn paper and just different elements here, some lace and a little trim there at the top with some buttons. It's a soft cover journal, and it's got a lace covered spine, sewn binding, and it's one signature. As I have done before in some of my journals, I have a little, like the center bookmark, which is the string that's for the binding. I did some handmade paper beads off the dangles there, and I made these from a coloring book page, and I believe that these ones on the bottom were from a calendar or a magazine. Either way, they're recycled materials. Sealed, so they're really pretty and shiny. I'm just going to show you around the outside a little bit. This one does have a tie closure. It's just a basic fabric scrap closure, but I felt like it went really well with the style of this journal. So it's kind of like I frayed the edges and just made it kind of look, but I didn't want to start off with that tied on it because I wanted you to see the cover, like first off. But that's how it looks. It's just a little tie closure, and it doesn't need it, but I always like to add one just in case you want it. The person who receives this journal might just want a little tie closure, so there you go. Anyway, again, that's just some fabric scrap that I cut a strip off of and frayed it to make it look shabby. The measurements on this one are about, sorry about that, about just over 6 inches long this way, by about 4.5 inches. Okay, so there's the outside. So if you look, I'm just going to kind of show you, so you can see kind of the depth of this, the torn edges and the layered cover, the layered, what do you call it? The title piece. Sorry about that. My mind just kind of went blank for a second there. And there's a nice little burlap heart right there underneath that, and just some different paper elements, coffee dyed paper right there. And I've left some of the edges up so that it just has more depth. It just adds more depth, kind of more 3D-ish. So here's the outside before we get onto the inside. As you can see, this one is stuffed full of fun pages. Here's the back. This paper here that I used is Tim Holtz. All right, let's take a look inside. All right, in the front cover here, I just put a little kind of ephemera cutout, yeah, there was a cutout piece, and I just did some inking around the edge there, and just makes it into kind of like a little tuck spot where you can just tuck. And then I've included ephemera, removable magazine and book pages, and just different things in this, just for fun, that you can do whatever you want with. And I'm just going to flip through it real quick. And there's just, again, with a lot of my journals, I just have a lot of different size pages, a large assortment of different pages, types of papers, etc., just to make it more interesting. Gives it a lot of depth. I love torn edges. I know that's not for everybody, but for me, I just love the way that looks. And so we have scrapbook paper, coffee dyed paper, some paper doily, and then tracing paper. I love doing like a little tracing paper sheet because I just love that, the sound of it, the feel of it, and then the fact that you can see through it just makes it really cool looking. This page here is from a vintage 1950s Scrabble dictionary. And then just on the edge here, this is removable. It's just a little piece of a vintage sewing pattern right there. All the clips that you'll see throughout are my distressed paper clips that I make myself. And this is just a little clip that I made from a little cutout. '50s children's book page. You'll see these in a lot of my, sorry about my lighting is a little off today, again. You'll see these in a lot of my journals. You'll get lots of writing paper in this one, assorted writing papers. And you see how the torn edges just make a really cool, like, layered look that just gives it so much character. And throughout the book, again, there are plenty of little removable parts that you can just play around with and move around as you wish. Some is real vintage ephemera from my collection, and some is, you know, replication, vintage inspired or you know, vintage reproduction things. This is from a book, actually, that I got at Five Below, which just had really pretty images, and I thought it would be perfect to add some of these to my my journals. This was a crossword puzzle page. Some more writing paper, crossword puzzle page. Another vintage children's book, I believe from the 50s. And then scrapbook paper, and then removable, you know, this was a printable scrapbook paper, cut off. And this is a vintage bridge game scorecard or score sheet. And just this was a printable. So like as you can see, a good mix of real vintage ephemera from my collection, as well as reproduction, printables, things like that. Just all kinds of good stuff to play with in here. This is a vintage, kind of like a dictionary, but I think it was like a school book dictionary. I love the coloring on the edges of this page. You can just see the age on it. It's really pretty. Trying to get my light a little bit better. Just got a lot of shadows today. Sorry about that. I don't think that's helping. All right. So some more writing paper. Coloring book page. Another printable, just a little removable piece. And on the back, this is actually mounted on coffee stained paper, so you can use the back for journaling. Use it as a journal tag. And then these you saw one previously. These are just like vintage reproduction papers that you can use to decorate, or you can even write on the back. Vintage book page. This was just from a notebook, you know, like a note calendar type thing. As you can see, the little date part on the bottom there. And then I just put a little sticker there. This is reality. More writing paper. Here, this is craft paper. This page is made out of craft paper, like the kind you get on the big roll that you use for wrapping packages. And then what I did was I made a flip up. So there's several sheets to this flip up, and I think it came out really cool. Just for fun to, you know, you can use this for journaling. This side's lined. And then got some vintage music paper there. I think this was a hymnal, an old hymnal. And then you've got scrapbook paper, so you can put a photo there. You can put another photo there. And another vintage game tally sheet. You can write on that. And then there's a blank spot underneath that you can also put another photo or more journaling. So it's all kinds of like hidden fun spots that you can write on or add your photos to, or your memories. And it's layered, and it just has such a cool, like, depth, you know, interest look. All on one page. So you get like all these extra pages out of this one page. And then another little flip up here on the back. So you can see what that page looked like underneath. It was just plain craft paper from a roll. This was from a Tennessee Traveler's Guide map. Yeah. I have 2 daughters that live in Tennessee, so we get lots of this travel stuff when we go there. More writing. Vintage sewing pattern. This is a Tim Holtz flashcard. And I just made a little tuck spot there for you to tuck whatever you like in there, photos or notes, memories. And then I added some large index cards for journaling, and then also some craft tags that I cut myself. And then this is the center. We're getting to the center here. So we have scrapbook paper and then a coloring book page here. And I did them different sizes for the depth, the added depth. And then here's your center bookmark that I was telling you about with the paper beads. Really cute. And those can come out the top or the bottom or both, any way you like it. If you want one coming out each end, it looks good no matter what. Okay, so second half of the book, again, scrapbook paper, mirrored kind of on both sides there with the same tag and the same journaling card. Some more plain scrapbook paper, lots of blank spaces also for you to do your photos, memorabilia, to collage on, to do your own artwork and your own creativity. Lots of writing space. Vintage pattern, writing paper. And then here I included from my collection, these are vintage, that's a vintage US mail envelope, first day of issue, inaugurating the United States Postal Service, and this says July 1st, 1971 on the butt. Sorry, it'd be helpful if I put it in the frame. But it's never been used. These are part of my collection. So I'm including that in there. And then this is a blank craft page, just like the one I showed you before that had the kind of flip up pages on it that you can do something on your own with. That would be fun for you to kind of create your own little, art right there. And then this is just a piece of a pattern here. Puzzle page. This side is blank as well. And then this is a fold out tag that I just kind of clipped over the edge of the paper. So it's got two sides and opens up like a book. So lots of journaling space in there. Vintage book page, vintage guest check. And this is an old photo from my collection. This one has 3 gentlemen in it. It does not have a date, but it does have writing on the back. And it looks like maybe they tore off. This is how I received it, but it looks like maybe somebody or something was torn out of the picture or removed from the picture, or maybe by accident. Actually it does have a date. I'm sorry. August the 1st, 1940. Okay. It says this picture was taken in Redding, California, California, when I went to the roundup in Red Bluff. And then it looks like it says the Thrill Master or something. I can't really make out the bottom part here, but it does have the original writing on it. So it's a pretty neat picture. So that's just something fun for the receiver of this journal to have as part of their collection. I love including these unique pieces in my journals because, even if you don't use it in the journal, it's a fun addition to your stash, to your ephemera stash. That's the other half of that dictionary page. And here I'm also including, as another little gem from my collection, a letter, handwritten letter from 1938. And it has the letter inside. And I read it, and it's going to be just something fun, special for the person that receives it to get to read. But it's all handwritten in pencil and is dated April 8th, 1938. And there's another smaller that looks like a child wrote it. Another smaller letter included that looks like it was from a child. That's the whole letter. So it's both sides of the paper. And it'll just be a fun little treat for the person that receives this journal to get to have this vintage, or antique, I should say, not vintage. It's an antique letter, 1938. And then I've just got that clipped in here. And on the other side, I've got a little card that it was a little cutout from scrapbook paper that you can use to either journal or maybe a miniature picture right there. Book page, game sheet, more writing paper. And here's another vintage piece from my collection you're going to get. It is a 1-cent postcard that was never used. Perfect condition. And then this is another piece from the 50s children's book. These images in here are beautiful, just the illustrations. That's part of that book as well. Scrabble, this vintage Scrabble book page, that was 1950s as well. And then this is just a little removable card that is blank on the back, so you can use that somewhere in the journal. You can write on the back, put a photo. And another little printable piece that I added right there. And then I did another little flip up section in the back here. This is the back page, and it's got this cool, this is the Tim Holtz paper. It's got this cool little like bee on it. Right there with some kind of script stuff. And then here, this is removable. I just tucked that in there. And then here is just like a little, I use a little kind of header, and then just little pieces that flip up just for fun. You can write on them. You can put a photo or like a secret thing under behind here. However you want to work that. You can write on that sheet there. Just fun little things to play with in here. And that's coming to the end of our journal. So that's the whole thing. As you can see, it is full of fun stuff. It's full of vintage. It's full of ways that you can create your own, make your own masterpiece out of it. If you notice, the back of the page, the paper, the way the paper was set up was it's the Tim Holtz paper, so it was double-sided. So what I wanted was, I wanted this to be the outside of the book, this kind of chippy look, this chippy paint thing that they got going on. But it looks like, it appears like this is upside down, but the reason I put it that way, I did that on purpose, is because I wanted this to be here. So I wanted that to be the back page, where this bee is right here, and I wanted this page in the front here to be shorter than the back page. So if you notice, that it has a straight edge on it, it kind of finishes the book. Now you can, if you don't like this, you can choose to cover it with something else, or do what you want with the back cover, or even maybe put a photo frame or something like that, or a pocket there. But I liked it. I did that on purpose because that's how I wanted it when I was creating it. So, you know, if the receiver gets this journal and decides they don't like that little upside down bee right there, they can just, you know, put a pocket or a photo frame. I think it's unique and I like it, and that's why I did it. That's just me. So that's the end of this video for this journal. And I hope you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, please. And this one will be available for purchase in my Mercari shop by the end of the day today. It's already photographed. I just have to do some editing and upload and get the listing live. And I will place the link to that in the description as soon as I have it available for sale. And you can also go on there. Actually, I think that this will be the next available journal because I am sold out. I am actually sold out. Thank you all so much. For any of you who have watched my videos, who actually have purchased my videos, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you even just taking a look at them. And even if you're not purchasing, I just appreciate you spending your time here with me. I thank you for subscribing. And if you have not and you like this video, please click the subscribe button and ring the bell so that you can be notified of my future videos. I'm definitely going to be working hard. I've got my daughter's wedding coming up, and I am trying to, you know, work real hard toward that goal financially. And so I'm going to be putting out some journals and fun stuff in the next coming weeks. I only have about a month till the wedding, so I'm going to be a busy lady. Again, I thank you guys for meeting me here today and spending your time with me on a Sunday. I hope you're having a wonderful and blessed day. I hope everyone is healthy and safe, and I am looking forward to seeing you in my next video. I'll talk to you later. Bye now.